This was definitely the most speechless moment for King Kong. Humans once again lured Titan X back to Skull Island. What is even more infuriating is, humans use devices to control the neurons of Titan X. You can control its anger at any time. They even want to use Titan X to take down the giant beasts on Kong Skull Island, and a fierce battle is about to begin. In the previous episode, humans took advantage of the battle between Titan X and Godzilla, stolen the child of Titan X Invisible Battle. They tracked it all the way to the edge of Skull Island. Godzilla was tailing the enemy from behind. As Titan X, which humans thought would be the overlord of the deep sea, he fought Godzilla to the death in the ocean, but things unfolded unexpectedly. Titan X seems very wary. Godzilla. The two beasts roared from afar, as if they had reached some kind of agreement. Godzilla turned away from humanity, and only then did he understand. It turns out Godzilla doesn't just beat up every giant beast he sees. They speculate that Godzilla's duty is to maintain order among the giant beasts. Godzilla may have already fulfilled his duty. He was just driving the other person back to where he was supposed to stay. No need to kill. But now new problems have arisen. Now, it is clear that a new force has gotten involved. They stole the child of Titan X. It seemed as if an even greater conspiracy was brewing. Moreover, before confirming that the Emperor organization had rescued a group of survivors on the beach, those people said Kate and Kentaro left with their team. But did they willingly follow along, or were they taken away? That is unknown. They now had to return to Skull Island, rescue the person. At the same time, they sought ways to send Titan X back to the world axis. Meanwhile, a helicopter arrived over Skull Island. In the cabin, Kate saw that they had already placed the giant beast egg on an open area. Kate believes that stealing the offspring of the giant beast, it only angers the other side, which is inhumane. Qian Tailang insisted these creatures were not human. Humans cannot be measured by the same set of standards. Meanwhile, Xiao'er and his group also entered Skull Island. Xiao Mei brought tracking equipment to confirm the signal from Titan X. Still strong. As long as the battery is active, the ground curtain can be locked indefinitely. Start issuing instructions, clearly explaining the risks. Congo rushes over whenever he sees foreign beasts landing on the island. All they can do is quickly enter and exit to find out who is directing Titan X and where. Then send him back to the world axis, where the team receives orders to begin advancing. Meanwhile, Huizi found images from geomorphological satellites in her husband Billy's profile. If the migration destination of Titan X really is Skull Island, then Skull Island might be the gateway for the giant beasts to enter and exit the world's axis. This inference directly turned Skull Island into a keynote in the global behemoth network. Kiko pointed out that if Billy's judgment is correct, there must be naturally formed stable cracks nearby. Meanwhile, Kate and Kentaro enter an abandoned base. Isabel clearly knew there was another central rift on Skull Island. From there, you can travel anywhere through the behemoth network, and what he wanted was not a brief entrance. Instead, it is a crack that can maintain stability over the long term. Isabel wanted to travel through time and space through the rift. Such words could even rewrite their previous fate. Kentaro also had the same goal, which is why he helped Isabel. He wants to change the past and save his father. Hongji Kate immediately saw through this attempt and directly pointed out, when they want to treat the world's axis as private, once the optical machine opens the rift, no one knows what kind of calamity will happen. Meanwhile, Shar and his group advanced through the jungle. The tracker showed the target was just ahead. But as the group was moving through, someone was suddenly pushed up high by unknown forces. They still haven't found Titan X. The local monster attack from Skull Island scared the team into scattering. Suddenly, Xiao Mei was also caught by the monster's tentacles. Fortunately, the earth curtain grabbed his hands at the critical moment. The group was scattered, and Kiko and Shaw discussed the hunting entrance inside the cave, comparing maps with the target. If we can find him, maybe we can send Titan X home. Shaw and the other decided to split up and push into a group, using the tracker to find Nautilus. Another group took advantage of the time to search for proportional markings for the hunting mouth. Kate mentioned that tracking the giant beast alone makes it impossible to directly find the crack. He said that without a time machine, the past cannot be changed. He broke down emotionally and mentioned his father, saying he didn't want them to be like this. He didn't want anyone else to get hurt. Seeing the plan about to be disrupted, Isabel directly ordered someone to escort Kate away from Skull Island. Soon, the countdown to the base has entered a critical phase. Subordinates report that Titan X will arrive in about 12 minutes at a speed. At the same time, Kanggang moving in that direction. Titans may have already been perceived. Isabel demanded interference and ordered the roar of the furnace hunter to be played. Helicopter-mounted speakers echoed through the valley, trying to divert the Vatra from interference. It worked. The Vatra entered through the crack in his body. Roar. Next, Isabel brought Kentaro to a platform. The truck carrying the giant beast egg entered the designated area. Isabel comforted Kentaro by saying she didn't have the resources her father had. Only trust funds and a group of smart people. Now there is Kentaro too. Kentaro still felt unsure of what he could contribute. Isabel directly brought up Kentaro's identity, claiming he was from the Landa family, so it was most appropriate. Then he proposed that the issue of King Kong must be solved first, because Kong operates on the island. They cannot establish a base. Jen Talang realized the other might be trying to make the two giant beasts fight. They even considered letting Titan X take them down Vatra. He immediately objected, believing it was impossible and should not happen. Isabel insisted that it was necessary. At that moment, the figure of Titan X appeared in the distance. Isabel judged the timing to arrive at the base. Begin the first phase of action. Titan X slowly approached the giant beast egg. Then he turned and roared at the two of them, about to vent his anger. At this moment, Isabel issued the order to carry out the order. Hidden nozzles. The giant beast spews thick smoke and chemicals, instantly enveloped in mist. Painful struggle. Soon after, he staggered and fell to the ground. Isabel's team used a special anesthetic Mayun Titan X. They then used Xiaomei's previous research to connect to Titan X's nervous system. Although Apex previously failed to control Titan X, but Isabel's goal was not to completely control the giant beast, but rather letting him lose control and push his aggression to the limit. This way, the goal of eliminating Vajra can be achieved. Meanwhile, Kate was just about to take off at the helicopter. Regardless of the danger, escape quickly. Then, he shuttles through the base to the communications room. He started up the old equipment in the dark. He connected to the outside signal and got in touch with Xiaomei. Kate told Xiaomei and the others to leave the island immediately. This shows that Isabel has an entire base here, and they are leading Titan X here. Xiaomei and Tim listened carefully. They immediately realized things were worse than they thought. They must arrive before Konggang and turn the situation around. Meanwhile, Shaw and Kiko enter a smoke-filled wasteland. The ground is covered with giant beast skeletons, like a massive slaughterhouse. This means humans have carried out massacres-style operations against the giant beasts here. This place is not just terrifying. It feels more like evidence of guilt. Weezy dug out an old-fashioned camera from among the frames. He recognized it as something of proportion. He realized that proportions might die here. Emotions instantly collapsed. Afterwards, Keiko digs up a metal native object in the mud. He recognized it as the detector made by Dr. Lin Miu immediately after. They found that the second and third ones were much more numerous, and the brand information on it was even more shocking. The time mentioned above, the locations come from different years and regions. These include New Guinea, Lokshness, Kazakhstan, and others. The time span extends even more than several decades. Kiko finally understood that Billy was throwing probes into cracks all over the world. Then all these detectors come out from here. In other words, this is the central hub, a key node in the Behemoth network. This discovery proved that Billy's theory was not a fantasy. It was the trajectory he spent his life filling in the map. Huizi opened the detector. He found a note stuffed inside. When he opened it, he found it was a letter Billy had written to him.
I vow to love you, Winthus, world or any other.
He realized why Billy had come here to look for the hunter. It has never been just scientific exploration. Instead, it was to find this discovery that was both comforting and a deeper regret. Meanwhile, at the base, Kentaro was at the Titan X giant beast deck. He found Kate Kentaro and warned him not to get off the helicopter, because there were rampaging beasts outside. Kate took the blame upon herself, saying if he doesn't intervene, maybe it wouldn't have come this far. He believed he had unleashed the demon. Now he wants to lock him up. He asked Kentaro to help him complete the task, but Kentaro bluntly said, "This is impossible." He stated he didn't care about the fate of Titan X and King Kong. He already had a plan. Meanwhile, the anesthetic for Titan X has already lost its effectiveness. After Titan X awakens, his neural activity surges. As the control lever was pulled down, the red spikes on the back of the Titan X lit up. He roared in pain and stood up. This indicates that the stimulus has taken effect. The neural connections were forcing him into a controlled berserk state. Meanwhile, King Kong was moving rapidly through the misty valley. Suddenly, he felt Titan X's roar and spun around sharply. The battle between the giant beasts of Huludao is about to begin.